This Corecon training video segment continues to explore the cost database, specifically work items. Work items are tasks that can have a combination of cost broken down by resource type. Resource types being the materials, labor, equipment, subcontract, and other, often referred to in some knowledge base articles as MLESO. Work items can also be material-only items that have no other pricing. Work items can be added manually or imported from a Microsoft Excel import template. Work items can also be updated or edited using either of those methods. Let's create a new work item manually in the cost database next to work items, across to actions, and add manually. We're going to give it a code. It's not required, but I use the master cost code list code followed by a unique extension so I have unique numbers. I'm going to call this structural concrete 250 psi. And we're going to use a unit of measure for the takeoff as a cubic yard. And we have different cost resources or cost types that can make this up. If this were just the materials, we could put everything under the cost resource or cost type materials. But this actually includes a little more than that. So let's go to the materials line, and we're going to use cubic yard as the resource unit of measure. Since the resource unit of measure matches the takeoff unit of measure, the resource conversion would be 1-to-1. And currently, we'll say that the base cost for 1 cubic yard, including aggregate and sand, is $127.50. You do have an option to mark up the sell rate at this point. I prefer to leave mine same as cost and use the global markups. Next resource is labor. And since the unit of measure for the concrete is cubic yard, we're going to use hours for labor. And we're going to say for every 1 cubic yard, it takes 1 hour and 45 minutes of labor per hour. And this is the hourly rate and burden. Again, I'm leaving this cell or markup the same as cost. We also need to use some equipment, also by the hour. So for every cubic yard of structural concrete, we're going to consume 3/4 of an hour of equipment time. We're going to say that that equipment is $35 an hour. Since there may be delivery charge by the cubic yard, we'll go ahead and add that as other. Additional information can be added, including comments that would appear internally only, meaning only users of Corecon. There's also a place to add comments for the proposal and one for RFP packages. If this were a material only work item, I would probably also want to fill in the manufacturer, part number, and so on. And we'll click add and next. Now we're going to classify this based on our master cost code list. So we have a default, and we'll go to the division 3, and we'll classify it as just structural concrete and click finish. Now that we've added that classification, when we add this item to an estimate and use the auto populate feature, Corecon will add the item to the takeoff quantities and at the same time build the work breakdown structure or estimate cost codes using this classification as a default. If I want to edit this work item manually, Corecon's provided an edit icon, which is this little yellow pencil. We can click edit, make changes as necessary. Back to the cost database. The second way to add work items is to import these from an Excel template. Before we do, let's go to the help articles, to getting started, to Corecon import options from Excel. Under cost database, we're going to use the article materials and work items. Corecon provides all the instructions and some reminders It also has all the database fields that are available as column headings to import from, and it provides one example. So if we go over here to the right, I've already added the default cost codes for each item. I named the column CSI Space 2016 because that's what I've called my master cost code list in global settings. The word division with no space before it identifies which tier from that master cost code list, in this case division. I've also included one for major. You'll notice that the costs are already filled in, although if these items had already appeared in my cost database under work items, Corecon would also use this as the key field and update these costs or units of measure or descriptions and so on. Before I can import this, I also have to take out these notes that Corecon provided. Notice that the units of measure have been filled in, the conversions, and so on. Click File, Save, File, Close. Now back to our cost database work items. We'll go down to Actions, and we're going to import from Excel. We're going to choose the file that we just set up and click Open. You can see all 10 items were imported. Back to cost database. If you'd like more information on work items under cost database in Corecon, we encourage you to go to the knowledge base, to cost database, to work items. This help article includes the information in this training video, as well as more detailed information you may find helpful.